Welcome to Module 5, Earning Through Long-Term Collabs. In this module, we're going to discuss what you need to do to make yourself as valuable as possible with brands so they pay you more and for a longer period of time. Let's jump into it. Module 5, Earning Through Long-Term Collabs. What does this module consist of? Number 1, creating high-paying content packages, turning one-off brand deals into long-term collabs, understanding key metrics for brands' success, advanced creative strategy, and a checklist for the next steps for your success. Section number 1, creating high-paying content packages. Why do packages work when doing UGC deals? Well, it's efficient. Brands love creators who can streamline their workflow and not be a bottleneck by asking questions or needing the brand at every step of the way in the creative strategy. So when you have a package, they know exactly what they're getting and they could see you at the end of that campaign. Number 2, elevated perception. Offering professional packages shows you're not just a creator, but a partner in their creative strategy process. And I'll show you guys exactly how to do this in the later slides. Number 3, increased earnings. Packages allows you as the creator to bundle your services and upsell. This generates higher income for you. Once you've mastered UGC basics and built a good client trust basis, you're going to start upselling these premium services to elevate your income. Brands are always looking for creators who understand both content and creative strategy. It's not just enough to be a content creator anymore. You need to be part of the creative strategy of that brand. So we covered initial pricing in module 3, but as your skills evolved and your results improve, you can confidently charge premium rates for your expertise and strategy. These are just some of the ways that you can charge more and how much brands are actually willing to pay for UGC content. You have next level packages for scaling your income. One concept, one angle with 4 different hook variations, all the raw files and usage rights could start at $500. Then the growth packages, 3 concepts with 4 hook variations per concept. So 3 times 4 is 12 different videos, plus raw files, usage rights for $1,200. And number 3, the premium package is 5 concepts with 4 hook variations per concept, meaning a total of 20 videos. Plus you do the creative strategy, which is the ideation and scripting, and you could charge $2,000 every single month for this. You could include personalized video scripts, and you could also brainstorm campaigns with the marketing head of that brand. Now, once you're skilled in creating high quality content and have a portfolio with results, brands will be ready to pay this premium because you're getting involved in the creative strategy. Creative strategy, or a creative strategist of what we call it, is the next level of value. So you're helping brands plan the scripts, the hooks, the visuals, the storyline, everything that is tailored to their audience for better results. We will go over in examples on how to be an expert in creative strategy, how to create these hooks effectively, how to script, how to brief that generate actual results, and how to leverage AI to do everything here. And you can use this to also do your own UGC content or brainstorm different TikTok shop ideas. But in this case, we're going to use it for earning more per client. Section 2, turning one-off deals into long-term collabs. Now, why do long-term collabs matter? It's predictable income. You're securing consistent monthly revenue instead of always chasing for new deals. This will ultimately help you at eventually quitting your 9-to-5 and focusing on content creation full-time as a full-time job. The longer you can retain a client and the more predictable revenue you have, the faster you can fast track of quitting your 9-to-5. You need a strong brand alignment to do this. But the more you work with a brand, the better you understand their voice, their messaging, and goals that make your content more impactful, the better results you can give to that brand. And thirdly, higher earnings. Long-term deals often come with bigger budgets from companies for exclusivity and larger content campaigns. Now, how do you actually build a relationship with these brands? Firstly, on your first ever deal, you're going to have to over-deliver. Go beyond the expectations. What I like to call it is under-promise and over-deliver, right? Submit early, add extra value, send your raw files, create some bonus hooks or some bonus content, and ensure that your content drives measurable results. Number 2, communicate effectively. Always follow up after delivering your content. Here's what I created and why it aligns with your goals. Ask them for metrics. Keep the tone professional, enthusiastic, and results driven. The goal as a content creator is for how you can make them money. Number 3, ask for campaign insight, a very crucial component. Ask and follow up with the brand 2 weeks after your content is delivered, and ask them for initial metrics on your content. Use metrics like CTR, purchases, or return on ad spend to demonstrate your impact that you had with your content. 4th, pitch a long-term strategy. After delivering the first project, propose a custom plan. Example, based on these results that we achieve, I recommend doing a 3-month collaboration where I create one video weekly focusing on the brand's objective. And number 5, be a problem solver. Ask the brand questions about what are your biggest challenges for Q1, for example, how can I help solve them, or offer to help with UGC, creative strategy, or TikTok shop support if you are proficiently enough to help them. Section 3, understanding the metrics for success. Now, jam-packed, but we'll go through it step by step. Now, metrics matter a lot, and this is something that is not currently widespread across UGC creators. Now, brands care because metrics demonstrate the effectiveness of content and its contribution to their ad campaigns. And your advantage, if you're knowledgeable in this and you understand these metrics, you're able to communicate effectively with the brand and position yourself as an expert. This also builds a lot of authority when you speak the language of data. Brands will then trust your ability to deliver impactful content. Now, some key metrics to understand. We'll go through all 10 of them. Purchase ROAS. Return on ad spend on how much revenue was generated for every dollar that was spent. For example, a ROAS of 3 means for every dollar that they put into marketing, $3 in revenue was generated. Number 2, purchases. That's the total number of transactions directly attributed to the ad or the content. For example, if there's 50 purchases on a piece of content, you helped sell 50 units. Number 3, amount spent. This is how much the brand or the advertiser spent on ads tied to your content. For example, $500 was spent on your UGC video. Number 4, purchase conversion value. It's the total dollar value of purchases from your content. So for example, if you sold 55 units at $1, that's $55 in purchase conversion value. Number 5, cost per purchase, a very, very crucial one. The average cost to acquire one purchase, also known as CPA or CAC. So for example, if the brand has a $20 CPA, CAC, that means the brand spent $20 to acquire that customer on ads. Number 6, CVR or conversion rate. It measures the percentage of people who took a desired action, for example, conversion, a purchase, after clicking on your Facebook ad or on landing on your page. This is calculated as a percentage. Number 7, outbound CTR or click-through rate. CTR stands for click-through rate. It's the percentage of users who clicked on the ad and visited the website. It's calculated by dividing the number of clicks on the ad by the total number of impressions. That's how you calculate the CTR. And outbound just means that they actually made an action and landed on the website. Number 7, video average play time. It's the average time viewers spent watching your video. If viewers watched on average 12 seconds out of your 15 seconds, it's calculated as a percentage. You divide 12 by how long your video is. Number 8, video hold. It's calculated by seeing the 50% plays, so how many people stay past the 50% mark, divided by impressions. So it's the percentage of viewers who watched at least 50% of your video. Strong storytelling boosts these metrics a lot. Number 9, the hook rate. It's calculated by using 3-second plays divided by your impressions. And it just allows you to understand how is your content grabbing the attention in the first 3 seconds. A rule of thumb here is if you have a 30% hook rate, you're in a good spot. And lastly, CPM, it's the cost per 1,000 impressions. So how much does it cost the advertiser to show that ad 1,000 times? The lower the CPM, the higher performance that your content is effective. Another thing about metrics and ad accounts is the naming conventions. So a lot of brands and agencies use naming conventions to structure their campaigns for clear organization. This way, it will be easier for brands to just type in your name, for example, Angelica, and find your creative and the data that corresponds to it. It helps tracking ad performance and identifying winning creative concepts. Now, this is an example of the naming convention that we use that you can send to brands. And you can say something like this. To help streamline tracking and performance analysis for your campaigns, I've used clear naming conventions for all content I've created. This will make it easier for your team to identify and evaluate the results tied to my work. Let me know if there's anything else I can assist you with or improve on. Now, the campaign level is what product you're promoting and the conversion focus. In this case, sales. The second is ad set level. It just goes by the ad angle, the audience, and the landing page. The ad angle is what your concept is about. The audience is who we're targeting. And the landing page is what landing page it's going on. For example, relaxation is the angle. Homepage is where we're driving the conversion. And broad audience is the audience that we're targeting. And lastly, ad level. It would just go with creator, the video version of that ad, the ad type, and the concept. For example, Antonio, V1, before and after is the ad type, and the concept, for example, is game night. Now, we're going to have a resource linked in the classroom for you guys to have access to this with a bit more information. So feel free to look at it. And if there's any questions, always ask us. Now, when you are asking for metrics from brands, you can say something like this. Hi, brand name. Could you share the performance metrics for the content I created? Specifically, I'd love to know the details like the click-through rate, the ROAS, or the engagement rates. These insights will help me refine future content to drive even better results. And the brand will usually either send you a screenshot like this or export it into an Excel. And then you will have everything laid out of all the metrics that we spoke about. The purchase, the purchases, the amount spent, the conversion value, how much money you actually generated, the cost per purchase or CAC or CPA, the cost per checkout, cost per add to cart, and cost per landing page. You don't really need to look at it. Cost per outbound clip is how much it costs you for one viewer to actually click through and go to the landing page. The CTR, then the video average play time, and the hook rate. This will all be sent to you, and you're able to use these metrics into your portfolio. Now, some creative benchmarks when looking at all of these metrics. What can you deduct and what actions can you take to improve? So for example, if you have a high hook rate and a low conversion rate, you should experiment with better call to actions or making it earlier in the video, right? A great hook, but ad lacks clarity on the product or the value, so people are not converting. Secondly, if you have a low hook rate, but a high conversion rate, then you should test definitely a stronger visual for the hook. The ad is able to grab the attention and stop the scroll. So make sure that you make it even better by providing a new hook to the brand. If you have a high conversion rate, but a low click-through rate, it means that you need to reinforce the call to action and make it more compelling. Users convert once on the website, but if the traffic volume is low, then they're not converting. Then we have high CTR or click-through rate and a low conversion. So what does this mean? You need to ensure that there's a cohesive message from the ad to the landing page to optimize the product discoverability. The users click to the ad, but don't take action on the website. There's something wrong. Next up, if you have a high click-through rate, but a low hook rate, you should revisit and test stronger hook visuals to draw in more users. The ad is able to capture the clicks, but struggles to capture the attention that you want. Then a low CTR and a big gap between the 25% and 50% video play rate. What I would do is add the CTA, the call to action, much earlier in the video to grab the attention of the viewer. So you're definitely, in this case, missing out on a lot of conversion opportunities. Next up, high hook rate ratio and a low watch time. You need to explore the hook and revise the narrative flow. Improve the pacing and the visuals to make it much faster. The hook is strong, but the rest of the video is failing, so you need to hold the attention better. High hook rate ratio, high watch time, but low click-through rate. In this case, you need to improve the call to action to make the users get off the platform and onto the website. Low watch time despite the good hook. Add frequent cuts in the content, diverse shot selections, and faster pacing to retain the attention. The users are dropping off right after seeing the hook, meaning that you're not grabbing the attention and keeping them throughout the whole video. And lastly, high watch time but low click-through rate. Experiment with CTAs to build stronger user desires and increase the engagement. The ad is good at retaining attention, but it fails to actually generate an action. So these are some of the creative benchmarks that you can use to make sure that you're in any of these situations, you know what actions to take. Now, as a rule of thumb, where do you want to stand with some of these creative benchmarks? The hook rate should at least be 30%. 30% means it's a strong creative and it has potential to even do better. If the TSR, which is the hook rate, drops, update the first 3 seconds and test different captions, emojis, or visuals. And broader products tend to usually have higher hook rates, above 40%, while niche products may have lower hook rates. So just really check on the conversions and if you're actually driving sales. Number 2, the hold rate. You should be at least between 8 to 10%. Right? The formula to calculate this is your through play divided by impressions. And for example, for an 8-second video, calculate 8 seconds divided by impressions to find your hold rate. Number 3, the click-through rate. It should be anywhere between 0.8 and 1%. Below 1%, there's a lot of room for improvement. Between 1 and 1.5%, it's a very good call to action and very good way of getting the users out of the platform and onto the website. And above 1%, you're doing an excellent job with your videos and it signals that it's a high converting ad. Section 4, advanced creative strategy. In this section, we're going to use AI to do our creative strategy. But at the start, what is creative strategy as a whole? It's a document outlining the content vision, the messaging, and the execution of that content campaign. And it's essential because it helps brands visualize your content approach and it positions you as a professional and authority in the space. It increases your value and hence you can charge more. Now, what are you going to learn from this section? The frameworks for creative strategy, how to leverage AI tools to write your hooks, your scripts for your UGC videos, and examples and templates that you're going to have access to. Before starting and jumping into the AI, there's a few things that we need to make clear. Firstly, the objective. We need to define the campaign goal. For example, boost conversion or raise awareness. Number 2, we need to know the audience. We need to specify the target demographic, their pain points, and their desires. Number 3, the hooks and angles. You'll need to propose 3 to 5 hooks tailored to the audience pain points and aspirations. And number 4, you're going to need to execute and make this into a full video structure with a hook, problem, solution, and call to action. Number 5, the metrics. How will success be measured? Are they going to measure it on ROI, on CPA, on CTR? Ask the brand and get to know what metrics you need to look at. The research phase of using AI for creative strategy. Let's jump into it. I'm going to open ChatGPT and we're going to create a sample script with a brand. And I'll show you guys how to do the full creative strategy. Now, as you can see, we are out of the PowerPoint. I have ChatGPT open. I have Miley Cosmetic, who is going to be our example, and I have their Amazon for the B-flat belly firming cream. Now we're going to go on ChatGPT and we're going to copy the first prompt. Now this prompt goes like this. I'm going to paste a bunch of, write the brand name, Miley's Cosmetics, review for their product, and we're going to write B-flat, and their product URL. This, you are going to look at it directly from the brand. So we're going to go on Shopall, and we're going to look for B-flat, or we'll actually just type it. B-flat. We're going to copy this link and input it into our ChatGPT prompt. Then we're going to give a quick product overview. What I like to do, you could either copy the description in here, or you can go to Amazon and copy the description as well. So in this case, we'll just use this description right here. I want you to read them and answer some questions about them, okay? And here are the reviews. So we are going to use this as the second prompt once we get acknowledgement. Perfect. Now we are going to paste the reviews. So here are the reviews. We're going to keep them like this. And we are going to go to Amazon and we're going to go to the review section. And then you can paste as many reviews as you want. So we're just going to scroll a bit and paste the first 2 pages. First one, paste. And we're going to just paste the first page. Once it's all there, all the reviews are there, we're going to send it to ChatGPT. Now, ChatGPT is ready to answer our questions. We're going to go back to our second prompt, and we're going to paste this whole prompt right here. Now, what does this prompt actually say? So this prompt says, using the reviews above, make a list of the most common things that customers like or don't like about this product. You should only include things that repeat over and over again in the reviews. Write the ones that repeat the most first. Next, for every bullet, write down how many times that sentiment is repeated in the reviews. Choose between very common, moderately common, not common. The categories should be product, the main unique value propositions, or number 2, unique features and benefits. Then the customer pain points, desired outcomes, purchase prompts, misconceptions, failed solutions, or objections. Then customer use cases. What are some examples of the product being used in real life based on the user experienced? Important, for every heading, choose an appropriate emoji and paste it next to the heading just to make it better. So we're going to send this to ChatGPT. Now that the prompt is over, it spit out product and customer. And you can see that we have the unique value propositions, the features, the benefits, the customer pain points, their desired outcomes, their purchase prompts, their misconceptions, their failed solutions, their objections, and their customer use cases. So this is a great start. Now, if we go back to our presentation, we can see that the next slide is the hook phase. And this is going to be the prompt that you are going to use to develop these hooks. So let's go into the first one. We're going to paste it, and it says something like this. You are an expert direct response advertiser specializing in advertising on social media. Given all this information above, come up with 10 hooks for Facebook ads about the product name, which is B-flat. Consider the following. The goal of the hook is not to sell the product. The goal of the hook is to grab attention. People are not on their feed to watch ads, so you must say something that speaks directly to the target audience. You can do this by referring to the value customer section above to find out what pain points will resonate with that target audience. You can phrase hooks in many different ways. First person, second person, third person, questions, statements. The hook should read to be no longer than 4 seconds. It can be shorter. And we're going to send it to ChatGPT. And as you can see, we have 10 pretty good hooks to start with. Number 1, stretch marks after kids. This changed everything for me. Or 15 years of loose skin gone in weeks. Burns like crazy, but the results are totally worth it. Your belly doesn't have to look like this forever. Show image of stretch marks. Is the burn too intense? But here's the truth. Loose skin after a baby, this might be your answer. So you can see that these are great hooks to even start with to build on. But for example, if these hooks are not good enough or they sound too salesy, we have another prompt that we can use. And we can paste it and it goes something like this. These sounds a little too salesy. I want the hooks to sound like a natural social media content that will catch the audience attention. Important, the hooks should not be a question. It should flow nicely like a conversation to a friend. I would actually remove this. Important, it should flow nicely like a conversation to a friend. And you can now see that we have 10 new hooks. For example, no one told me stretch marks could look this different. Okay, I wasn't ready for how much this burned, but wow. Why didn't anyone tell me about this before? Post-baby belly struggles, I feel this so much. Is it normal to hate every stretch mark you see in the mirror? If you ever Googled how to fix stretch marks, same, but I got you. So you can see that these are very well done, and this is a very good way to build on top of these hooks or even use these hooks for your content. After the hook phase, we have the scripting phase. And yet again, we have exactly these prompts that could help you build out full scripts with the hooks that we made from the ChatGPT prompt. So let's dive into the scripting phase. So we're going to copy this exact prompt. We're going to go back to ChatGPT and we're going to fill anything that needs to be filling. So for example, you're an expert direct response copywriter. Using the framing below and concept idea below, write a script type. So for example, a storytelling ad script about B-flat, which is the product that we are promoting. Based on all the information above, it should read to be max, for example, 30 seconds. And in simple English that a regular American could understand and relate to. The script will be used for social media ad on Facebook and Instagram. Remember, people are not on social media to watch ads, so the hook, first 1 to 3 seconds, needs to be engaging enough to stop people scrolling through the feed. Now, we already have the hooks, but we're just going to see what it actually spits out. Then the concept idea. Include the concept idea you choose to move forward with. So for example, our concept for B-flat could be reducing or removing belly fat stretch marks, for example. And then the framework below is hook, problem, failed solution, product intro, features and USPs of that product, a demo, another benefit, the desired end result, and a call to action. Let's send it to ChatGPT and let's see what it comes up with. Now we have the script from ChatGPT. Let's start with the hook. These stretch marks just won't go away. And it also gives you a visual, a close-up of woman looking at her belly in the mirror. The problem, after having my baby, I was stuck with loose skin and deep stretch marks. No matter what I tried, nothing works. And also another visual, cuts to her sitting on the couch holding her stomach. Failed solution. I spent so much money on creams that promised miracles, but they either did nothing or made my skin feel weird. Shows her pulling up a jar filled with half-used lotions and creams. Product intro. Then I found B-flat. It's like anything I've tried before. A bright, upbeat tone shows her holding the B-flat bottle to the camera. Then the features and USPs. It uses a warm sensation to target loose skin and stretch marks. You feel it working the moment you put it on. A clip of her applying the cream and smiling as she talks. Then a demo. I used it twice a day, just like they said, and it was easy to fit into my routine. A time lapse of her applying the cream daily paired with visuals of her belly improving. Benefit, and for the first time in years, my skin actually looks smoother and tighter. She smiles confidently wearing a crop top. Desired end result. I feel confident again. I don't have to hide my belly anymore. Clips of her playing with her toddler, looking happy and carefree. And finally, the call to action. If you're tired of stretch marks and loose skin, give B-flat a try. It worked for me and it might work for you too. Ends with a shot of holding the bottle and smiling at the camera. So you can see that we have a very good script right here that we can build on, we can edit, we can change up if we want. And obviously we also have what type of visuals we can actually get from the script. Now the visuals, you guys can put in whatever you may like, but this is a very good basis of what to start. Now, if for any reason the script doesn't sound natural or sounds too salesy, we can use the prompt of let's rewrite the script like if we're speaking to a friend with more natural language. Now, obviously, this script is already very natural. It doesn't seem salesy at all. It seems like we're speaking to a friend, but let's just see what it comes up with. Now, we can see that it's a more natural and conversational tone. For example, the hook is, okay, can we talk about these stretch marks? Like, are they ever going to go away? After having my baby, my belly just wasn't the same. Loose skin, stretch marks, it was like no matter what I did, nothing worked. I've spent way too much money on all these lotions and did literally nothing. You know, the ones that make all these promises and then nada? Then I heard about this stuff, B-flat. And honestly, I was skeptical at first, but I figured why not? So this cream actually heats up when you put it on. It's wild, but you can feel it right away. Like it's not just sitting there doing nothing, it's legit doing something. I just used it twice a day, super easy, morning and night. And honestly, my belly looks so much better. My skin's tighter and those stretch marks are way less noticeable. I feel like me again. No more hiding under baggy clothes. It's a good feeling. If you've been struggling with stretch marks or loose skin, try B-flat, seriously worth it. So obviously things to change and improve on, a great start, more conversational tone, and more natural overall. And that concludes the scripting phase and the AI with creative strategy. So your checklist for creative strategy is understanding the brand, know their unique selling propositions, their pain points, and their target audience. Analyze the reviews. The more reviews you put in your ChatGPT prompt, the better ChatGPT will be at spitting out a very good script and hooks. Then leverage those clear prompts to develop hooks, scripts, and your creative strategies. As an action step, start researching 1 to 2 brands, go into different markets and just try out these ChatGPT prompts. See what comes up and see if you actually resonate with the scripts that they give you. As always, maximizing earnings is about delivering value. And this section really covers this. The creative strategy, you are providing a huge amount of value to these brands. You're building trust and you're constantly refining your approach. So take what you've learned in this module and go apply it. Take time to reflect on what you've learned and prepare to bring this energy to the next module for module 6. Now, your checklist for module 5 will be to craft and refine your content packages. So use the starter, the growth, or the premium to provide flexible options for brands and offer valuable upsells like multiple locations, raw files, or creative strategies. Number 2, start building these long-term partnerships with brands. Over-deliver on every project, provide more value than expected, request metrics so you understand what your impact was from your UGC content, and then pitch multi-month deals with these brands. Number 3, go learn and go review these key metrics to be able to communicate with brands better. Understand all these metrics that we spoke about, get familiar with them, the ad accounts, and then use these metrics to position yourself as an expert and authority in the space. Remember to incorporate these metrics and data on your portfolio. It builds authority. And number 4, master the advanced creative strategies. Use ChatGPT to brainstorm your hooks, your scripts, and your creative angles. Practice writing out compelling hooks, these scripts, and these CTAs. You'll get high converting UGC videos from these ChatGPT prompts. It's what we've been using for the last 3 years, and it's been working. So refine the messaging and practice makes perfect. I'll see you guys on module 6.